Have you ever thought about how many people in the world would risk their lives every day just by driving on the road? What seems like a mundane act, getting behind the wheel, can turn into a tragedy. Forget about wide highways and regulated pedestrian crossings. The roads in this collection are places where rocks hang over narrow strips, cliffs peer into windows, and the road itself is more of a challenge than a regular way home. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on upcoming videos as we begin. Shimshal, Pakistan. A terrifying mountain road that merely allows speeds over 10 kilometers an hour, located in Pakistan, is truly one of the most breathtaking and dangerous balcony roads in the world. It leads to the Shimshal Valley, situated at an altitude of about 3,100 meters above sea level and has a length of 35 miles. On one side are majestic mountain peaks covered in glaciers, on the other, a deep gorge that takes your breath away. That's its route. Even now, the road is covered with snow most of the year, often leading to closures during this time. If you dare to cross it, be aware that half of your journey will take place on an artificial ledge, hundreds of feet above the river under an incredible incline, almost a vertical side of the canyon. This is not to mention the road itself will be gravel and so narrow that usually only one car can fit, leaving little space on both sides. And the frightening wooden bridges over the canyon gap will surely not let you forget your fear, if it's possible at all. After all this, it's not so surprising that, in the past, instead of prison, the Hunza authorities sent people who committed crimes to Shimshal as punishment. Would you risk crossing the Shimshal road? Write about it in the comments section below. If you still decide on this journey, my friendly advice, don't forget to bring a parachute and inform your insurance company. Located in Wuxi County in southwest China, Lanying Cliff Road is beautiful but simultaneously one of the most dangerous roads in the world. This road is not for the faint-hearted. Steep turns, narrow passages, lack of protection, and dizzying heights characterize this extremely narrow 1.2 kilometer road carved into the side of a cliff. The drop might be over 1,000 meters, and adding clouds and frequent fogs makes it even more intimidating. Despite all the risks, it serves as the only transportation route connecting the village of Lanying to the outside world. Reportedly, the road was manually carved by villagers, taking more than 15 years. Resembling a hanging rocky wall, daring drivers traverse it every day, risking their lives with each sharp turn, only protected by a small stone fence along the entire route. In other words, it's more than an unusual path to the treasure called Lanying Grand Canyon. Let's start with the road to Fairy Meadows, which ranks second among the deadliest roads in the world on interactive maps. The road to Fairy Meadows is an impressive and dangerous high-altitude route located in the Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan. Hidden in the Fairy Meadows National Park, the road is entirely dirt, filled with rocks and boulders due to constant landslides and avalanches. Its total length is 9.94 miles. The road is unattended with no barriers to protect you. The further you go, the narrower it becomes. Sounds more like a plot of a nightmare. But this is the reality, where, in the end, you have to cover the last stretch on foot or by bike over rocky cliffs at 8,000 feet high, amidst mountain views and valleys. Interestingly, the dirt road has not undergone any repairs since it was built by the ethnic residents of the Nanga Parbat Mountains hundreds of years ago. Would you dare travel to a place where one slight mistake can lead to catastrophic results? Tianmen Mountain Road. Located in the picturesque Tianmen National Park in northwest China, this road is considered one of the most dangerous roads in the world. Are you accustomed to comfortable journeys on smooth paved roads? But do you have a crave thrilling sensations and a real challenge? Then this road is what you need. Now on the screen, you have the opportunity to see 99 hellish turns from a bird's eye view. Winding alongside the slopes of the mountains, they stretch on for 7 miles, leading to the mountaintop, where the famous Tianmen Cave, also known as the Gateway to Heaven, is located. Even without the zoom of a drone camera, you can notice the steep slopes along which vehicles, maneuvering turn after turn, try not to fall amidst this stunning landscape and regular fog. Unlike previous places in terms of equipment, let it not deceive you. Incredibly narrow and winding with extremely narrow tunnels, it spirals steeply upward from 200 meters to 1,300 meters above sea level. Despite all this, surprisingly, local drivers drive very fast, so protective concrete blocks have been placed along the entire route and your prayers will separate you from a fall, which, by the way, will be needed in the next place. Imagine a picturesque mountain valley in Azid Kashmir. Probably it's difficult to do so, especially if you've never been there, right? Let me help you with that. Dense forests, majestic mountains, a roaring river, all of this creates an incredible landscape. But amidst this beauty lies danger. The road of Azad Kashmir. This challenging, mostly dirt road winds through the mountains, and its surface is rocky, mostly sharp and threatening, or potholed. Dreaming of a smooth surface is not an option here. One wrong move results in a punctured tire. Besides, don't forget that the left side of the road is a steep slope, and the right, a turbulent river. If such travel difficulties await you in the warm seasons, then a logical question would be, what about when the temperature drops below freezing? You can find out only if you decide to try your luck by going there. Zovila Pass, one of the world's most dangerous passes, located in the Himalayas. It is situated at an altitude of over 3,500 meters above sea level. Despite its steep turns and poor road conditions, hundreds of trucks and cars use it daily. The mountain road spans for 193 kilometers, with some stretches so narrow that two vehicles cannot pass each other. Even for a motorcyclist, overtaking an oncoming vehicle could be challenging. The majority of the road is unpaved, but there are sections paved with cobblestone or asphalt. Traveling may not be comfortable, but the view of snow-capped mountains makes it all the worthwhile. This road is popular among Indian drivers, and columns of vehicles can often be seen slowly making their way through the rocks. Connecting the cities of Srinagar and Kargil in northern India, it serves both cargo trucks and passenger buses. The real challenge is passing oncoming vehicles, often requiring trucks to reverse to wider areas. If possible, vehicles move close to the edge, allowing convoys of oncoming trucks to pass. On wider and relatively safer sections, vehicles can speed up. In the winter, when snowfall occurs, the road is closed, adding the risk of avalanches to icy conditions. Despite being rightfully considered one of the most dangerous roads globally, local drivers use it as the shortest route. Imagine a narrow, winding road through the mountains, perilous passes where one wrong step can be fatal. That's Karnali Highway, a 250-kilometer road connecting Nebalajung to Surkhet in Nepal. Words about it being the last thing you might see in your life are not just empty statements. This rocky path is laid on the surface amidst rivers and waterfalls. The road itself is a very narrow strip of land bordering the cliff. Most of the time, this route is submerged. Therefore, on days when the river overflows, it doesn't deter local buses, which, overcoming these obstacles, essentially travel on water ramps. Even on motorcycles, the road is tight, let alone cars. And due to rains, landslides, and rockfalls frequently occur. Almost the entire year, entry for vehicles on this route is prohibited, but that was never stopped the locals. Transportation is always possible on bicycles or motorcycles. In the dry season, public buses operate on the route, but encounters with oncoming traffic are impossible in some places. There is no alternative route for the residents of this area. Hence, the death toll on this road is not surprisingly high, with 50 fatalities annually, not counting those injured and maimed by this route, although it is not a competitor for the next place. Do you want to face danger and feel the adrenaline rush through your veins? Then North Yungas Road in Bolivia is waiting for you. Locals call this route the Death Road, or Road of Fate. Many would agree that it is one of the most dangerous and deadly roads globally. At its highest point, the road is at an altitude of 3,600 meters and at the lowest, 330 meters. Steep ascents of the dirt road periodically collapsing and the absence of guardrails do not stop people traveling on it, not only on bicycles, but also in cars and even buses. This became a fatal mistake captured on camera on May 20th, 2012. What seemed like a routine passage of a local bus along a narrow section turns tragic. It slowly and cautiously passes the slope, but fate had other plans. In a few seconds, the rear part of the transport slips, dragging it and flipping it into the abyss before pulling it over. Long sounds of falling and impacts along with the screams of people accompany the end of this video clip. After such an event, it's not surprising that from the bottom of the canyon, you can easily see the consequences of similar situations. And now add to all this fog, which periodically appears on the road, landslides during rain, and even picturesque waterfalls, ironically located directly above the route. Every year, 100 to 200 people die here, and crosses marking the scenes of fatal events are placed on different parts of the road. Adventurers from around the world come here to test their nerves and get a huge dose of adrenaline. Still, not everyone successfully conquers these terrifying 70 kilometers of slippery road. Would you risk traveling the route? Write about it in the comments below. In the heart of the Peruvian Andes lies the road in Cotahuasi Canyon. This impressive route to one of the deepest canyons in the world, 11,004 feet, is certainly not for those with a fear of heights. The dangerous road through the canyon is filled with many challenges, such as steep turns, cliffs, and rock slides. Drivers and passengers have to make 4 stops every 200 meters to check the route, and in some cases, use tools to clear the aftermath of rock slides or rain. The video shows men working diligently with shovels. Active physical exertion for locals and tourists is a unique feature of this road among others. It's essential to mention the sad statistics of accidents on this road. According to local eyewitnesses, the annual accident rate exceeds 50. In conclusion, you definitely need to remember that there are only 2 types of people on this dangerous road: those who are driving it for the first time, and those who are driving it again because they can't believe they survived the first time. And if you do survive it, welcome to the next one. Killer Road. Kishtwar is rightly called the most dangerous road in the world. This road in the wilderness has conquered many daredevils. The entire route is a horrific state and requires strong nerves to overcome it. Along with the terrifyingly high altitude trail, the total length of the road is 114 kilometers. This route looks very dangerous and narrow, even for motorcyclists who often challenge themselves to conquer this route, not to mention cars and buses. As for the road itself, it is made of gravel, rocks, and sand. And it's worth mentioning the rocky protrusion that hangs down, ultimately obstructing the view of oncoming traffic and creating numerous blind spots. Another difficulty of this route is the low temperature, which can persist until summer, making it possible to encounter snow blockages. However, this doesn't deter the guys in this video. In summer, everything begins to melt, causing other problems, flooding and washing out roads, resulting in heavy machinery trying to prevent landslides, leading to encounters on narrow road sections. Dozens of steep ascents, descents, and the constant feeling of severe oxygen deficiency, which won't leave you for a minute, add to the complexity. So don't forget, just one mistake and all of this can turn into a catastrophic event for you. JSR Rondu-Skardu Road is not just a 167-kilometer road. It's a challenge thrown at nature, a test of endurance, a journey that stays in memory forever. Located in the picturesque Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan, this route leads through some of the world's most beautiful mountain landscapes, but also harbors danger. The road is often blocked by landslides and avalanches, making the passage risky and requiring careful preparation, endurance, experience, and knowledge of mountain conditions. Landslides are a side effect of the weather conditions and rapid temperature changes normal to the mountain terrain. Earthquakes, which occur several times a year in this area, also contribute to roadblocks. In the video, you can see people abandoning their vehicles, taking all their belongings, and walking because the road is blocked by rocks. Considering the number of people in the video, it's clear that this route is quite popular among locals, and blockages happen regularly. There's no other way for them to get home or to work. They have to throw their bags on their backs and climb over these hurdles, trying to overcome the route. The path may not be just 1 kilometer, and arranging transportation can take a week. It's already a part of their everyday life, with no alternative. Travelers, for whom crossing the JSR Rondu-Skardu Road is less commonplace, describe their emotions as a mixture of fear, excitement, and pride in overcoming this challenging route. Imagine the scenic landscape of Saskatchewan, Canada. Probably beautiful, right? But behind this beauty lies another side. A network of roads that rightfully can be called one of the most dangerous in the world. In recent years, Flooded Highway in Saskatchewan has earned this title due to, well, endless floods. Perhaps it will surprise you, but for most locals, starting their journey on a regular asphalt road during the rainy season and magically continuing it amid puddles and water engulfing them is a daily occurrence. And the splashes on the windshield that cleverly limit visibility will increasingly diminish your chances of avoiding an accident in these conditions. Particularly dangerous, not forgetting that all this time, rivers surround you from both sides. Located in the southwestern Hubei province of the People's Republic of China, the floating bridge in Shizuguan is one of the most spectacular bridges in the world. The wooden plank bridge runs in the middle of the river at water level. I understand it's hard to believe this isn't clickbait for your attention, so let me convince you of its authenticity. The floating bridge was designed as an environmentally friendly structure made of natural materials, seamlessly blending into the surrounding environment. This remarkable engineering feat challenges nature itself, allowing people to cross water spaces effortlessly. With a length of 1,640 feet and a width of 4.5 meters, it is built above the river. The water depth beneath it is 60 meters, so it's better to refrain from speeding, especially since there are speed restrictions on this route to prevent the creation of unnecessary waves, dangerous for your life. Despite all this beauty, accidents are not uncommon for this place. Would you risk driving on such a bridge? Passing through the Halstraford and Averoy Islands, one of the most beautiful routes called the Atlantic Ocean Road is laid out. It traverses the water of the Atlantic Ocean, connecting various 8 islands with bridges of various sizes. The length of the road is almost 5 miles, and its twists resemble, in a way, American roller coasters with their design. This breathtaking monument is an excellent example of how the wonders of nature and human creation can come together and transform into a single entity. During the journey, it will enchant you with its curves and provides a continuous panoramic viewpoint of overlooking marvelous islands, mountains, and water expanses highlighted by lush green coastal landscapes. But behind all this, one must not forget about the danger. The variability of weather conditions in Norway is well known, not to mention the unpredictable nature of the ocean. You wouldn't want to be caught in a storm while on any of these bridges. Waves with incredible force crash over the entire route, splashing onto passing vehicles, obstructing the forward view. Not to mention the dangerous excess of water on the road, after which controlling the vehicle becomes challenging, leading to the possibility of ending up in the deep ocean or, more simply, in an accident. Longtan River Bridge is impressive in its scale, being just one of several remarkable structures on the last 300-mile stretch of the G50 Expressway. It connects Shanghai on the Pacific coast and simultaneously ranks as one of the top 10 largest concrete bridges in the world. With a height of 178 meters and 7 spans, the main one being 200 meters long, this structure is a true giant. If, after hearing its parameters, you still have questions about why it is dangerous, then congratulations, you lack a self-preservation instinct. Besides all this, most of the time, the viaduct is surrounded by clouds, making it difficult to see anything. Unless you forget about the constant sense of fear, just remember that one wrong turn of yours or a neighboring truck and you're flying. And if it comforts you at the moment, the view of endless expanses will be truly breathtaking. On September 23, 2018, in Himachal Pradesh, India, the video shows the danger posed by this road. The reasons for this include a combination of various factors: climate change, illegal deforestation, and regular rainfall, resulting in an increased water level in the river alongside the road. Eyewitness filmed 2 trucks being swept away by the flood, miraculously clinging to the remnants of a former bridge that connected the 2 banks. The same cannot be said for the moment when a parked bus is washed away, along with water, road debris, cars, rocks, and debris heading towards the homes of local residences, destroying houses in its path. And in the end, when all that remains in place of the former road is mud, whether you like it or not, you will miss the uneven paths. If your answer was no, you'll still be interested in the next place. Guilin Road is one of the most dangerous mountain roads in the world. Located in the eastern Chinese province of Henan, its path, which is in fact carved into the Rocky Mountain as a tunnel, is a staggering 1,200 meters long and has a height of 5 meters. The peculiarity of this high mountain road is the openings of various diameters and shapes made in the wall, serving as natural sources of light and at the same time posing the greatest danger. Along the entire stretch, there are dozens of small windows, some of which reach lengths of 20 to 30 meters. You might think that it helps during the trip, if not for the twisting route which creates blind spots where it's impossible to know if someone is coming straight at you. Adapting to this, people started honking to alert others to their presence. But is it effective? Traveling this extremely difficult route from which large stones fall into the abyss from the side became a matter of honor for many car enthusiasts and, at the same time, a risk of death. No wonder it's called the road that does not forgive mistakes. The Killer Chamba Road is located in the Indian state of Himachal Pradesh. It is one of the most complex and dangerous routes in the world. However, despite this, dozens of passenger buses travel this road every day. One particularly dangerous and narrow section, all passengers get off the bus at a safe distance. The driver must maneuver to avoid going off the edge. On one such stretch, there is a waterfall that washes out the road, so the bus driver has to navigate and pass very close to the edge. Many passengers witness this show. One can only imagine how difficult it is for the driver, as he has to risk his own life every time. The road itself has a length of 250 kilometers. Of course, there is no question of any asphalt, but it's these dangers, waterfalls from rocky mountains, and extraordinary views that have made the road famous worldwide. Now, let's return to our fantasies embodied by skillful architects, and this time in just 4 months. This small bridge was constructed for temporary connection between two settlements, as the main crossing will be built later. So, the decision to build this seemingly unreliable bridge was the only alternative for local residents to avoid the mountainous off-road route, which takes much more time and increases the car's mileage by 20 kilometers. The entire bridge is cable-stayed, and it wouldn't be so impressive if for not its size, 300 meters. This entire structure is located in Chongqing, China, and if we're talking about the real danger of such structures, aside from intrusive thoughts that it might collapse at any moment and the fastenings might snap, admit it, you definitely thought about that. Then recall the small iron fence along the bridge. Its purpose is to prevent your car from possibly falling. Now, I think you already feel better. If not, you now understand why this route in the video is so noteworthy. Dragobrat is a ski resort located in the Zakrapati region of Ukraine. It doesn't enjoy much popularity due to its horrendous road. The road leading to the top of Dragobrat has been in a state of disrepair for over 20 years, becoming almost impassable in the winter. Getting there by a regular car is unlikely unless you want to roll down a hill. Locals use special vehicles equipped with wheel chains for better traction to climb to the resort, and for a fee, they are happy to give you a lift. This transport can easily overcome the snowdrifts formed by avalanches higher up in the mountains, but there are cases where even they struggle with the weather conditions on the road. In a video, a driver and passenger narrowly avoid sliding into a river that runs alongside the road. Such incidents are not uncommon. Waiting for another vehicle to pull them out is not unusual, with everyone having their own winch or towing cable for such situations. Interestingly, despite knowing the danger of this road, many crossover drivers still dare to drive to the ski resorts in their own cars. This results in many videos on the internet where it doesn't end well. Cars lose traction with the road and simply slide down. Sometimes, drivers have to leave their vehicles and wait for better weather to tackle the route. Would you risk navigating this route? And if so, in what type of car? How about even more unconventional roads, the existence of which will make you wonder if what you're seeing is real? Intrigued? In that case, imagine this. You're driving on an old, rusty bridge over a turbulent river, but you don't hear it over the sounds of creaking old wooden planks with metal patches. The impression is that they would collapse even under the weight of a person, let alone a car. But it's too late to think about it. The journey has begun. And now, you're in the middle of the route. No more doubts. The road diverges and shakes, and your fall from 15 meters is just a matter of time, and no railing that could save you from falling. Although, why should there be one? I almost forgot. This entire amazing construction from a horror movie is just a regular railway bridge with ties that is quite popular among extreme enthusiasts. So take a breath, because it might haunt your dreams. Kinwar Road is a picturesque route that hangs from cliffs over what seems like a bottomless gorge, crossing the Baspa River in India. A beautiful place for travelers, but is it worth the journey you need to undertake? To connect Kinwar with the rest of the country, the Kinwar Road was constructed, carved into solid rock by cutting through hills in a way that sometimes these protrusions become part of the landscape. Soon after starting your journey on what seems like a safe asphalt road, you unknowingly enter a rocky trap. The road becomes narrower, sharp turns direct your gaze to the wild nature. But what lies ahead? Right, an endless stream of landslides, streams, waterfalls, and boulders, along with precarious suspension bridges, because why not? The destruction of one of these bridges was captured on camera by a local resident. In the video, you can see how just a few rocks hitting the mountain surface created a cascade of stones that easily destroyed the bridge in its path. It's terrifying to imagine what would happen if a person were in its place. Now, a bit of teleportation from warm countries to colder ones. Dalton Highway, also known as Route 11, is one of the most dangerous roads in Alaska. These 666 miles are so desolate that they've been dubbed the loneliest road in America. Numerous road signs and warnings along the way serve as grim reminders of the real danger people have faced traveling so far north. Scenes of burnt cars from accidents are not rare and starkly stand out against the snowy landscapes. The notorious bumps resembling craters seem almost harmless compared to the steep terrain with sharp inclines, slippery road surfaces, and the presence of bears and moose that can suddenly appear in your path. Add to this the minimal visibility due to frequent snowfalls. All of this is complemented by winter temperatures dropping to -45 degrees Celsius. The combination of harsh weather, strong winds, and polar conditions make traveling this road beyond risky from July to August at best. And don't forget, if you think everything is behind you and you survived an accident, there's no chance of a quick rescue due to the lack of mobile network. Your only salvation is waiting for daily helicopter patrols searching for wreckage and stranded travelers. For most of the video, we were showing you the roads themselves, where various lucky individuals successfully navigated the challenges. But what if I tell you that the pedestrians in this video are not the only ones playing risky games with fate and danger? There are countless news stories and warnings about such places on the internet, although, as we see, all of them were successfully ignored by this tourist bus. Without turning off the music, the vehicle tries its best to navigate through the narrow, winding road, ignoring the fact that the ground under the wheels literally collapses down. As if gaining courage, it sometimes reverses, then accelerates to pass sections with ravines. And there you go, this green beauty barely avoiding a flip, tilted at an angle, and with one wheel closer to death, remains intact. Only luck and the skill of the driver can be thanked in this situation. So don't forget that after visiting any of these places, you could easily find yourself in a similar situation without a happy ending, or experience an adrenaline rush. Who knows? Such places are no more predictable than roulette. And that's it for today. If you had a regeneration pill and the opportunity to drive on one of them, which one would you choose? Write in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to not miss the next videos.